All right, people. Hello. This is Bob again. And today I am going to be talking about one horrible ass comic, and that is Troll #1 from Extreme Studios. The first Troll Pact issue. I almost want to say that's kind of funny, but it's just not knowing what's coming through the book. But yeah. So before I get started, let me just show for myself or whatever. I'm a comic book artist. I'm currently working on my own book, and within the next hopefully coming weeks or so, I'm going to have this completed and work on a Kickstarter in order to get funds to print the book. If you like this video, please hit like, as it helps me, helps my channel grow, and it helps me get an audience who might be interested in my work. If you like, if you want to see more, hit subscribe so that way you can see more videos. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump into this steaming pile of garbage. First of all, can I just talk about the cover? Troll's head is so massive compared to whatever is going on here. I don't know, his leg, all of this is, I get it. Drawing a shorter character like this is difficult to do because you have to relearn some anatomy, and a lot of the anatomy you did for a superhero book, especially with Extreme Studios, will prevent you from, doing something like this, as you can see. Now, in the rest of the book, it looks okay, but this was the cover here. He has a whip. I'm not sure why he doesn't have it in the book, but we're going to see that when we basically just start the book here, okay? So we'll just go in here. It's called A Troll's Tale, all right? As always, Rob Liefeld has his name listed on here as the creator, but he's also the writer. And we have Jeff Matsuda on pencils, okay? So let's just start off here. I've read a lot of Liefeld books, and you usually don't get any kind of story, but you're not really getting a story here either. There's so many problems. I feel like when he starts to write, he just immediately, he just writes and he just goes through, and he never rereads it. He never double checks it. He never looks for any kind of contradictions or anything like that. He just says, okay, I'm done, send it to print. And in all honesty, he didn't need to. He probably made a shit ton of money off of this book. Any book he was putting out, he was making a shit ton of money. So he did not need to care. He did not need to invest that kind of time. He was going to make more money by just pumping out everything he could over and over again and not taking the time to make sure he was making a good product. Now, later on, that would bite him in the ass, in my opinion. But right now, it's what it is. So we're going to... I'm going to read some of these dialogue bubbles here and stuff, which is not something I usually do, but it's just that you need to know, like right here, it starts off with this, so there I was. There's almost every fourth or fifth panel or word, narration bubble thing starts with so this or all of a sudden, okay? And there's so many of them. But right here, I saw, okay, let's start with this, okay? So there I was back on Amazonia, the legendary Isle of Paradise. I hadn't been in that neck of the woods since I was a teenager, and they booted me and my friends off the isle for pissing in the lake. Okay. I'm assuming it's Amazons that kicked them off. We're supposed to know this because it's an obvious ripoff of Paradise Island, Themyscira, for Wonder Woman and the Amazons, okay? So that's what he was going for here. Because again, I just have to put this out there. Liefeld has not had an original thought, even on accident. Everything that he's done is a ripoff of something else. And it's kind of, maybe not Cable. I don't recall anything that was a Cable before. So Cable seems like there was an original idea behind it. But everything else that came after was just, I'm just going to keep ripping off all the characters I love and making them my own and whatever. So it's like, word has it that shortly thereafter that the Queen, and see, this is where we're already getting into here. We have an editor, Eric Stevenson, but he did not edit any of this. I doubt he ever read anything that was going on here because of all of the issues that are with this script here, with this story. There's no fucking way in hell this guy read this. He got a paycheck and he was like, whatever, because I'm going to treat this the same way that Liefeld does. I don't give a fuck. I made some money, put it out. Okay? Done and done. Word has it that shortly thereafter that the Queen restricted any and all male species from setting foot on Amazonia. What a wench. We're supposed to be getting the impression of what Troll here is that he's supposed to be some kind of raunchy character. And he's just Wolverine. He's just Wolverine made a little shorter and without the claws. That's it. But, and we're going to see this in a minute here. If it weren't for business, I'd have steered clear of these parts, but a man's got to pay the bills. It turned out to be one of my easier gigs, though. I hadn't done anything that simple since I took candy from that baby vampire back in Transylvania. If not for the Count, I'd have gotten off scot-free. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. We'll safely put this one in the win column. So you stole candy from a baby vampire. Is that candy blood? It's a baby vampire. I mean, I don't... That's so confusing. That boggles my mind. It broke my mind. I don't know where to go with this anymore. Is this now single-handedly the worst narration bubble I'm ever going to read in my life for all of the problems that are contained just in this small square? What the ever-loving fuck, okay? For as bad as he usually goes, at least in a Youngblood comic, you're getting 10 pages of action, 2 pages of baby exposition, and then the book is over because you only ever get half an issue with it. And then the other half is dedicated to 15 other characters he created that you will never learn anything about, okay? But this one's just going to feature Troll, and I swear to you, he has no idea what to do. So he's stealing this thing that he keeps calling a jewel, okay? And you can see here, it's like a golden egg, okay? So he takes it off and he starts hearing a rumble. And can we just let me put this up here to be seen. What the hell is going on with Troll's mouth? And this isn't the only instance of this, but we're going to see more. But it's like, what the fuck? And I don't feel that the artwork in this, I think Jeff Matsuda actually did a pretty decent job going through here. There are some issues that we'll pull out as we go. But in the end, I feel that it's not Jeff Masuda's fault. And I'm going to be pointing out why, okay? But we're hearing a rumble, and we turn the page, and what are we going to get? Could we have guessed this? Could we have, put some money down? Like, if we're going to try to predict, after what we got with the tone of this, we've got him with a whip on the front of the thing here, right, in this treasure pouch or whatever. And then we cut to him stealing, this gold egg or whatever off of this thing. Liefeld was like, why should I think of something? I am literally just going to take it from Indiana Jones. I'm going to take it from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Which is wild because it says, whoa, holy Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then here's where my brain gets broken again. Because we have Troll narrating this, and he's like, all of a sudden, I found myself running for dear life from a runaway boulder with my name on it. It was like some crazy scene out of some Indiana Jones flick. You just fucking said, whoa, holy Raiders of the Lost Ark, Batman. What the hell you... Oh, my God, there's too much to unpack there. Of all the nonsensical, fire Eric Stevenson. Okay, I hear a lot of shits about, the luckiest man in comics was Brandon Choi, because he was this bad writer, and he only got the job because he was best friends with Jim Lee and everything, and but if you ask me, the luckiest person ever in anything is Eric Stevenson, because this fucking, oh my God, okay. So we've got a tale of Troll. So is it a Troll's tale? Or is it a tale of Troll? Again, let's put that on Eric Stevenson, because this is fucking ridiculous at this point. Um, as a comic artist, I have dealt with a lot of writers who, they hire me to write their or to draw their book, and then I have many questions because their scripts tend to have issues, right? And I need it a little clarified because I'm the artist and I have to draw what the writer intended. But a lot of times I actually get some kind of snarky response where they're like, well, it's written in the script. And it's like, well, it really wasn't, or else I wouldn't be asking. And that's why I'm confirming with you, because I'm not going to waste my time drawing something just to have you come back and say that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this. So I'm trying to clarify in advance so that I can do less work, okay? Because you did not specify it enough in the beginning. I feel, again, Liefeld, Eric Stevenson didn't edit. He did not edit. He never read this thing. He never read this ever, okay? He had his name slapped on it. I think it was just like along the lines of how Tom McFarlane and Eric Larson and everybody were putting their wives' names as editor because they wanted it to look more like an official comic, that they had an editor. I don't think he was actually just editing. It was probably just a way for him to make money, like on the side or some shit like that, and he just had his name put on there or whatever. Okay, so yeah, I feel like a lot of the script left things very, incomplete or ambiguous or whatever. And then Jeff Matsuda was just like, okay, I have no idea what I'm fucking doing, but I'm going to have to continue on, right? I'd have been troll meat for sure, if not for my incredible agility and acrobatic finesse. I utilized a couple of moves I picked up from the amazing Zamboni brothers trapeze act back in the days with old P.T. Barnum and his traveling circus. I could hear the crowd roar with approval as once again I defied the odds. Okay. All right. He brought out a whip. He's whipping. Again, it's all Indiana Jones. It's all ripped completely off of that. It's what it is. All right. So now here's another one here, because this is a whole page here about smoking a cigar. All right. And again, I'll just read the panel so that you can hear it. But with imminent danger behind me, I stopped for what I consider one of life's little pleasures, smoking my stogie. My smokes are the best, imported directly from Cuba. I don't inhale none of that cheap stuff. You don't fucking inhale cigars, man. I've never seen Rob Liefeld smoking. I've never seen him smoke a cigar or anything like that. So I can only assume that somebody who doesn't smoke doesn't know how to smoke. You know what I mean? So we'll let that go. It's what it is. Of course, after a good smoke, a man needs a good drink. Only there was no liquor in sight. Not that it mattered anyways. I don't drink on the job. Personal stipulation that I adhere to strictly. Never mix business and pleasure, if you know what I mean. Then why establish that the fucking cigar is one of your little pleasures and you're on business? I get it. The cigar is not going to inhibit your ability or your senses or whatever like alcohol would. But still, it just reads fucking weird when you put it like that. This is, anyway. So I'm about to take a drink from a nearby pool of water when suddenly my pilot Eddie broke through on the comm line. His full name is Bartholomew J. Troll. So, of course, his nickname is going to be BJ. This is Rob Liefeld humor, okay? It's like, oh my God. It's like, what's his name? Is it Rob Schneider, the guy who does the Sandler flicks, the guy from SNL, but he does like, he appears for a small cameo in a Adam Sandler flick or whatever. So, like, this is Rob Schneider type of comedy right here, right? It's just bottom of the fucking barrel or whatever, and this is what Rob Liefeld thinks is cool and funny stuff, right? So he's got this golden egg sitting here when he goes for a drink, and then, this pilot calls him and says, we've been spotted by the locals. We got to get out of here. And then he says, this is where I lost my precious gem, slipped out of my pouch and into the water. It wasn't in a pouch. It wasn't in a pouch at all. Again, I mean, I don't know, just a little bit of care. But how much of this is Jeff Matsuda's fault? How much of it is Liefeld's fault? How much of it is Eric Stevenson, the editor's fault? Okay? I just feel like there's a lot of people to blame for all of the major inconsistencies between dialogue and pictures, and then picture to picture, and then word to word. It's all insanity, okay? Of course, I let Eddie have it for his lack of good timing. What? Okay, for crying out loud, what in Sam Hill's the matter? I'm telling you, we got to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. We've got people, locals coming. So Troll jumps down into the same water that this golden egg that he then calls a precious gem. I've never heard gold called a gem before. Gems are usually, the word gem goes for a diamond or a ruby or a sapphire. I've never heard that for a golden egg, but okay. Again, this is something that's going to pop up even more in this book because none of it makes any sense, okay? So he jumps into water and he's like, okay, I'm going to be looking for, I looked for what seemed like an eternity for this gem, but to no avail, okay? So when he pops out of the water, he's right here with this woman who happens to be Princess Corinthia of the Amazon Order. So again, we have Amazons that live on this. And apparently she was, I don't know, sitting right in this pool or whatever when Troll comes out. And of course, for him to, needless to say, she was none too thrilled to find Bartholomew J. Troll staring up her crotch, right? Because again, this is Rob Schneider level of comedy, all right? So she shouts for the guards, and her guards come in. And Troll's going on about how he's never heard a lady scream like that before. What, because his ugly ass came out of some water? Okay, they've seen a man before. If anything, they should remember him. They should be like, hey, isn't this the little fucker that was pissing in our water when we kicked him off of this island? Whatever. That was established in the very first fucking narration bubble, by the way, right? So they attack. He just runs by, and I guess he flips and does whatever. Okay, out of a window, maybe. Backgrounds here, I mean, there are backgrounds, right? So Jeff Matsuda's putting stuff in here. But I have to, okay, there's going to be some confusing backgrounds that don't kind of make any sense, right? But basically we have Wolverine here, he's like, hey, okay, he jumped out, he has to have some kind of badass thing. I thought he just escaped, by the way, I don't know. But now he's soaking wet again, they're still coming at him, after him, the same people. So he runs and he jumps off a cliff. And as he's jumping off a cliff, I guess they knocked over this boulder, which then hits the side of a cliff, opening it up and then spraying the water out, which then shoots the gold orb or whatever out. And he's like, oh shit, that's lucky, right? So I got you again, right? Okay. Whatever. I mean, it's not good writing. It's not whatever. But as he's falling also, he ends up landing right on the plane because this guy knew exactly where he's going to be. But again, no, it doesn't matter, right? That's not a big thing, right? So again, how I said earlier, right? Because he's like, so there we were free falling when suddenly, lo and behold, the earth gives up just the treat I've been looking for, right? There's so many of those again. So there I was, suddenly, all of a sudden this happened, and then blah, 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 right? It just kept going, right? I suddenly remembered that I was free falling without a chute. Okay, so whatever. How could you suddenly remember you were free falling when you just said you were fucking free falling? It's, god damn it, right? Anyway, so he's like, of course I'd take a week or so to recover from my adventure before making contact with the jeweler, right? I don't know. He didn't really suffer anything. He did not suffer anything. He's like a superhero, but this is the minimal stuff I've ever seen a superhero go through, right? He went swimming. He got kind of chased by a boulder, but didn't get hit by it. The guards never, hit him with anything. He didn't fight them. He just ran. So I don't know, whatever, okay? But here we are with this guy, and he's like, Troll, where are you? Come out where I can see you. And he's like, I don't have time for your stupid games. And Troll's like, I ain't playing those stupid games, except he is, because he's like, I'm just, trying to protect myself. But seeing as how you came alone, everything's good. Troll can come out and play. I don't know. Okay, whatever. And then we have to get another, shot of the big name here. It's Bartholomew J. Troll. BJ Troll, okay? Just so we have it, fucking shoved in our faces. You know it now, all right? So here they are. They're just like trading quips, basically. He's just like, do you have the stone? I'm really, really fucking thinking to myself, okay, I think Liefeld originally wrote that it was supposed to be some kind of gem, like a big diamond or a big ruby or something like that. But it wasn't clear in a script. And then Jeff Matsuda drew a golden egg. Okay, so a golden egg is not a gem, all right? And by the way, he said he was taking this gem or whatever to the jeweler. So this guy is known as the jeweler or the jewel. I think his name is just Jewel, right? It's very weird. Yeah, so it says, the one and only pal, long time no see, Jewel. You're looking worried as usual. So his name is Jewel, all right? So he's like, did you have the stone? Which is, again, you don't call something that's gold a stone. So all of that's really confusing to me, right? And he's like, of course I have the cash. Why wouldn't I have the cash? I always have the cash, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, there's a first time for fucking everything. But it's simply because you have to have the most cliched dialogue. So nothing makes sense because it's like an AI. It's like if an AI wrote this book, okay? That it would take everything from all of these Indiana Jones movies, all the cliched, sayings or whatever, and put them together, and they wouldn't make any sense. That's what you're getting here, okay? So he's like, even though you always bring the money, and even though we know each other, and even though, I go to you all the time, apparently I don't trust you, and I don't know. It's weird, so I'm going to hide around a corner because you could be doing whatever. I don't know. So he hands it off, and then he's like, the jeweler is he the jewel or the jeweler? Is he a jeweler named Jewel? I don't know. The jeweler is a creepy guy, but he's the best client I got, which is why I continue to put up with him. I'm sure if you asked him, he'd say the same thing about me. Anyways, a few weeks later, after securing my new funds in one of my many Swiss bank accounts, I found myself back on the road to adventure. This time, I was headed for Antarctica. Okay, I want you guys to remember what he said right here, because it's going to come into play again in just a few pages, okay? But let's, so we've got this pilot here again. I don't know. Oh, it's Eddie. Yeah, so Eddie is Chuck from Raiders of the Lost Ark, So he's like, all right, just drop me off here, Geronimo. I've got a parachute. I'm going to parachute down right into a cave here in this giant mountain, right? And of course, it's a perfect landing and all of that stuff, right? And then he's like, the sweet smell of my Cubans. I'd be freezing my ass off without them. A cigar is not going to warm you up, and it's not providing any heat, but whatever, right? What's the Surgeon General know about smoking anyways? Bad for your health? Pshaw. As it stands, I've outlived every Surgeon General to date. Go figure. Okay. I don't think that shit would fly today, but it's like, where's your ignorance? Okay, you're allowed to love your cigar. That's cool. But it's like, this kills and he's a superhero. Normally you would have them, say something like, kids, don't do this or something like that, whatever. Okay. So he looks at a map and he starts, he says that it's a perfect landing, that he got into this cave that he wanted to get into, but then he checks the map and still has to climb anyway. I don't know. Again, this is Rob Liefeld writing, so you cannot expect even one little minute thing to fucking make sense, right? Now, here's where I talked about where the backgrounds get weird. What am I looking at here? There's a person here looking at Troll who's looking through this rock thing. Is this a cliff? Because, we established there was a cliff here, but he's still climbing. But it's like, I don't know, I think this is supposed to be a cave, and that it should have been black to signify that, he's standing in front of a cave that he's going to go into or whatever. But this whole thing, this whole panel is one of the more confusing things that I've seen, because the background just does not make sense. But then again, in an Extreme Studios book, the fact that you're getting a background is amazing. So I don't know, maybe they shouldn't draw backgrounds, because it just seems to make things more confusing. I don't know. Well, anyway, Troll goes in here and, there's this thing. So he starts hopping across. we get two of the same picture. This is another staple of Extreme Studios artwork for their books. Liefeld does it when he draws, and he draws a close-up of somebody's face and then a closer up of somebody's face. Same picture, right by side, but one's closer or whatever. He does that all the time, so we're kind of getting the same thing here, right? I guess when Matsuda drew this and he was like, damn, that's a pretty cool image, and then the next page says, oh, you got to draw a cool ass image. He's like, okay, right, so I'll do that. So Troll, flips because those things start crumbling or whatever, and there we go again. We've got another golden egg that's just floating in, this creature's skull or something like that. So he just walks right up to it and grabs it, and when he does, the mouth on this thing slams shut, okay? So, again, here's where everything gets amazingly confusing. So Troll's here, and he's like, but as I mentioned earlier, my being as tiny as I am has its distinct advantages. And in this instance, a nook here or crevice there was all I needed to save my hide. So I'm guessing, and I would have trouble with this too, if you told me that you had to draw a nook or a crevice, it's like, how the fuck would I do that, right? I don't know how to do that, honestly. So Matsuda did his best there because that's what it's supposed to be. But it really looks like he's pushing his way up through the ground here. Okay. But, he gets out. And then here we have this woman, which is, this person that we saw earlier or whatever, watching Troll jump into this cave, right? Now, immediately, this person's like, okay, give me the gem or whatever. And he's like, fuck you, lady, I'm not giving you anything. So this here is an amalgamation of Lara Croft and Belloc from Raiders of the Lost Ark. So this is the person who comes to steal from Troll whenever he procures any kind of item or whatever, right? So she's like, I require this jewel. This is a very weird look. I think this eye is just too much of an angle. But yeah, I mean, it's giving off the vibe it's supposed to, or whatever, with the look on her face. The hips are very small for barrel chested. I don't know. It's not the worst artwork I've seen in an Extreme book. He had the golden egg. He doesn't have the golden egg. I'm thinking this is a gun because she was kind of holding a gun, I think, here, right? But I don't know if that resembles what this is. Okay. But Troll's like hell. So this is the whole thing where they're just, again, like, you're going to give me the egg. Nuh-uh. Yes, you are. Nuh-uh. And then she, fucking hits him, right? And he's like, damn, I was stupid, right? So then he, attacks back. She keeps hitting him or whatever, right? And I guess throws him into a wall. That Troll doesn't look bad, but what the hell's going on here? Is this where Troll's head gets super big again? Is part of Troll's super powers that when he gets hit, his head grows and his body shrinks? Maybe, I don't know. But she's got the golden egg now because that's the golden egg, right? And then the Catellans show up. Okay. Troll's like, okay, the Catellans showed up. Things can't get any weirder or whatever, but the Catellans are about to take this from this person. And then she lets them know, you're too late, Admiral. The orb is mine and rightfully belongs to the Daemonites. If you desire it, you have to take it from me. But this form is not suitable for conflict, right? And then I'm going to do it again, people. You guys can yell at me all you want. But what the fuck is going on with Troll's face there again, okay? This is something that Matsuda should never do. This look is just the dumbest thing in the world. But anyway, she turns into a Daemonite. Okay. This is not the worst picture I've ever seen, but it is a lot of wasted real estate. You have Catellans, you have Troll, you have this Daemonite. You could have put all of those characters in a double-page spread to show the size of the Daemonite, where everybody is located. It could have just been a cool, high-energy picture, but instead we just get this bland, two-page spread of just one creature here that's just so-so, 5 out of 10, But this thing's like, okay, I'm gonna, we're gonna fight these Catellans now. So this Daemonite starts beating up all the Catellans, and then somehow, as that was happening, um, I don't know. This is where it gets weird. Like at first, I thought Troll hit him in the eye or hit her in the eye with something, but I'm thinking that like that glare there is that the golden egg caught the eye of this Daemonite. So the Daemonite's like, okay, I won't kill this Catellan, and starts going after Troll, who then runs away. So then the Catellans are like, well, we can't have a Terran have this golden orb. So we will work with the Daemonites to get this orb back from Troll. So now everybody's against Troll, okay? And the Daemonites going after Troll, hits Troll again, picks Troll up. He doesn't, we're not seeing the orb again. He must have it hidden somewhere, But this dialogue, these narration bubbles kind of states that he was pretending to be hurt. Like De Niro would have been proud of me that day. I gave a performance worthy of Oscar himself, right? Okay, I guess he wanted to fool the Daemonite into thinking that he was hurt from that punch. And then he's just like, surprise, I'm not fucking hurt. And then he bounces off of him because I guess Troll has the superpowers of like Ricochet from Savage Dragon, where he's kind of just rubber and just can like bounce off a ship. I don't know. And he's like, so long, wench, and he's like flying away down a hill. But then the Daemonite jumps on him again, and this isn't a bad shot, but this is purely Wolverine. It's just like an older Wolverine. It's like Old Man Logan, right? Fighting this Daemonite. And then we literally just have a panel of snow. I feel like, okay, we could have did something there, right? And then, of course, Eddie shows up again, and Eddie's like, what the fuck is going on here? It's just a fire, right? But he's like, why is it what in tarnation that there's a fire? Like at the pickup spot, maybe? Is that the pickup spot? Did they conveniently go to the pickup spot from falling down the hill? Well, anyway, I guess Troll killed the Daemonite, and the Daemonite shrunk into like something the same size as Troll, but then Troll wore the body to keep warm because, that's how he says it, right? And he's like, and he says, I couldn't wait. So he gets on the plane and he's like, I couldn't wait to get back to the States and ream the jeweler over this one. Okay. Oh, this fucking hurts my brain so much. So we had Troll go to Jewel the jeweler to sell a gem that wasn't a gem. And all he did was say, I don't fucking trust you. And, we're meant to think that Troll finds out that there's like some kind of treasure somewhere. He goes and gets the treasure, takes it to the jeweler to sell it to him, to make money, to live a raunchy lifestyle, right? But now we're getting the impression that the jeweler contacts Troll and says, hey, there's like a fucking jewel or something over here, and I want you to go get it. So is he selling the jeweler? Is he getting paid for a job? What is the deal? Oh my God. Fucking Liefeld, Eric Stevenson, come on, people. Fucking spend 3 seconds thinking out what the fuck you're doing here or whatever, right? So he sells, he sells or he gives the egg to Jewel the jeweler, right? This time you went too far, Jewel the jeweler, right? And I'm gonna give you this jewel you wanted or whatever, okay? I'm charging you double time on this one, Jewel. And the next time you need a Patsy, don't be looking my way. I'm on permanent vacation. What the fuck? Oh my God. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's what it is. Rob Liefeld was wasting money on an editor. Okay? That's all I'm going to say there. He was wasting money on an editor. That editor did not do him any favors, and he just took Liefeld's money and ran. That's it, okay? That's a damn shame, okay? So then he's just like, the way I figure it, the orb was the jeweler's problem now. He can figure out what to do with the darn thing. What the fuck? What is he? If he was the one that fucking hired you to get... I don't know. Okay. I'm not even going to try to figure shit out anymore. But anyway, sometime later, a few short months later, he says, I've been contacted by an old friend of mine about a new job opportunity. I've been doing the freelance stuff for way too long, and I was ready to change in vocation. Okay, so this guy shows up here, and this guy, I don't know what the ever-loving fuck he's wearing. What is he wearing? Okay, I don't get this. None of this. Okay. Troll's wearing, like a suit or whatever because he's at this lavish restaurant in the sky or something like that, right? You've got this guy here who's just like, your guy's been waiting or whatever. And this is Graves. And we saw Graves in Youngblood number 6. I don't think I've done the review for that yet. Maybe I'll just do that comic next. But Graves is in that book. And, he has gray hair or whatever, but this is supposed to be Graves. So he looks nothing like the Graves that we've seen before. But Graves pretty much is like, the Youngblood program is under my direction. The president is insistent on adding his own cosmetic touches to the team and is looking for new recruits. So, okay. To be frank, BJ, we could use your talents as well as your wealth of experience. The pay is great and the profile is high. Are they just taking Troll for the cosmetic look? I don't know why this had to be in this bubble. Why is he saying this? Like, none of that made any sense to say that the president was making, cosmetic changes to the group. Did he pick out the uniforms that Shaft and them are wearing? I don't fucking know. Did he send Graves there to be like, hey, get Troll because we need a little person on our team? Maybe that was it. I don't know. This whole thing is fucking ridiculous, right? And then we have our last page here, which again is a horribly ridiculous thing. This is a big decision here, Graves. Give me a minute to think about it. Think. Fame and fortune, huh? Does this mean I gotta wear a tie? You're already fucking wearing a tie anyway. But that's it. So it says, the beginning. Look for more Troll adventures in the pages of Youngblood. Write and tell us if you enjoyed this book and if you'd like to see any additional Troll adventures. So was that it? Was Troll number 1 simply a one-shot comic? Oh, by the way, it was a double-page spread. So that's what we should have been seeing in the beginning, is Troll being chased by Catellans, Amazons, and Daemonites all at the same time. This part isn't bad. I like it. There is some size issues, right? Like scale issues here. Like she should probably be smaller, being behind this Catellan, who in every other book I've ever seen, Catellans look pretty large, giant in fact. And I understand that they're Amazons, but I never got the impression that those Amazons were 8 or 9 feet tall. So I don't know. Maybe they are in Liefeld's universe. I don't know. But that was Troll, right? So there it is. That is absolutely, beyond a doubt, one of the worst books I've ever read. Nothing made any kind of sense anywhere. Also, what is this? Is this for like one of the paddle balls? Right? Like, is it a ball on a string that's attached to them? I have no fucking idea. Like, so much doesn't make any sense between jewels not being jewels and being gold orbs, and then later on being said that it's an orb. And it's almost like Liefeld had no idea where he was going with the story, and then suddenly he was like, oh, well, what if it was like this, right? And then tried to change shit up halfway through without rewriting anything in the beginning. Anyway, this has gone on far too long, and I put you guys through enough shit with this book. All right, guys, again, thanks for watching. Until next time.